5-year-old Elsa hasn't seen her mother for a year. This is some of the last precious video her mother Naomi has of her. Elsa's parents separated when she was very young, but they stayed friendly, and in December of 2011 they travelled together to a seaside resort in Egypt, her father Tamir's home country. It was during that visit that Elsa's father took her away, and Naomi has not seen or heard from her since. A court ordered that Tamir Selama should return Elsa to her mother in Leeds. He's imprisoned for not complying with that order, but he refuses to reveal her whereabouts. Last week, a court in London added a year to his sentence. Today, Naomi is launching an international social media campaign in an attempt to get Elsa back. She's hoping somebody, somewhere, will have noticed her child and will get in touch.
Well, Naomi, her mum, is here, along with her solicitor, Kate Banerjee. Thank you both very much indeed for coming in. Naomi, you've come in here because you want to get her back and you want to spread the message. Just tell us, when you look at those pictures and you see your daughter on screen a week ahead of her birthday, what's it like for you right now?
It's agony, of course. I haven't seen her in over a year. I've no news of her. I don't know where she is or how she is, and it's very hard every day to wake up and not hear her in the house and to not get her ready for school and do all the things that we used to do. It's incredibly difficult, but somehow you find hope and strength, and of course my mission is to find her, and I will continue to do so.
And she went missing, didn't she, when you'd all gone out to Egypt on a holiday? You were just making a phone call, were you, when she was taken?
I was aware that there were difficulties. Her father had told me the day before that he was planning on keeping her in Egypt, and I had been desperately trying to get hold of my brother to have some support,
yes,
to get him to join me. And when he called, I went onto the balcony to take the call so that Elsa wouldn't hear me describe what was happening. And when I returned back into the apartment, it was empty. And
that was the last time you saw her?
Yeah.
Tell us about Elsa as a little girl. What's she like? How do you think she will be coping with this change in her life?
I imagine it was awful for her originally. She's a mummy's girl. She didn't want to be apart from me. So initially she would have struggled not just with my absence and her father's absence too. Also, she didn't speak Arabic, so the language is different. The temperature is different. There's so many things different. But she will have adjusted, of course, a year on. She's, as every parent says, she's a bright child. She will be coping well. She will be speaking Arabic. I'm sure of that now. But for me, it's hard not knowing what she's doing and wondering what she's enjoying and what she's eating and if she sleeps well, all of those sort of basic things.
So many things, aren't there, that you'd be wondering about. And we did hear a story of a little girl actually brought back, didn't we, only a few weeks ago. So that's
really encouraging.
Did that give you hope?
Yes, absolutely.
And it could be any small bit of information could help you, presumably,
of course,
couldn't it?
There are people that know where she is. There are people that spend time with her.
And you're looking after her,
absolutely.
Presumably.
And I just implore them to let her come home. It's been so long now, and she has, the right to have her mother and her father in her life, and she's been denied those rights. So I'm sure she's being well looked after. Yeah. She's with her grandmother.
That's who you think she's with. She's with her paternal grandmother.
Yeah, and she's a good woman. I just don't know why she's doing this, and I beg her to stop it and let Elsa come home.
Kate, so a really, really difficult situation. What about, what can you do? What can the authorities do? Because, there are clues as to where she is, aren't there?
Yeah, I think we're here today because we've done almost as much as we can do at the moment, and the plea is for information. There's an order here in the UK for her return, in England for her return. Yeah. She's a ward of court. Her father's in prison for not giving any information as to her whereabouts or taking any steps to return her or arrange for her family to return her. There is a custody order in Egypt. And there's been a lot of support, but unfortunately there's no international agreement with Egypt for a return of a child in a case like this. Egypt is not a signatory to the Hague Convention, and we don't know where she is. There's no information as to exactly her location or where she is, and that's why we're making this plea to bring Elsa home.
Naomi, I bet there are loads of mums and dads watching this morning who say, how do you keep going in your situation after 12 months? I mean, looking ahead, how do you do that?
I always find it hard to answer that when friends and family and colleagues ask me. I think you just do. What else? What options do I have? You know, I will find her, and when I do, I want her to remember Mummy and for everything to be as it was. So every day, no matter how small, I find something to do that gives me purpose and gives me hope.
I mean, even if you know there's not somebody watching who knows where she is, there may be somebody who may be able to help broker a deal, or you know, find out the information for you as well.
Any information that anybody has, we'd be so grateful for it.
Best of luck with your search, and it's her birthday, isn't it? A week on Saturday.
It is, yeah.
She would be 6. Thank you very much for coming to see us. Good luck.
Thank you.